And we're back in Studio K with Mike Green. How you
Yo,
feeling,
what's
Mike?
up, man?
How you doing
I'm
right
doing
now?
great.
That's
Doing
great.
great.
Awesome. That was an incredible performance. Probably the most high energy performance we've had in here since Rottweiler
What?
came in back in March, I think. But
I appreciate that.
yeah, totally. Awesome. Well, before we get into it, I just want you to introduce yourself, what you do, and then also the other person that played with you today, if you will.
Yeah, I'm Mike Green from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I play guitar and make music and do a bunch of other stuff. And had the pleasure of having my one of my best friends, Colin Mitchell, aka Rottweiler, on drums today. And yeah, it was an awesome, very fun performance.
Yeah, you rocked it. So two of those songs that you played are out on streaming platforms, correct? Crystalline Horizon and Harmless.
Yep. Yep.
And were those the first two that you played?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Correct.
And then the third one is unreleased. And what's the title for that one?
It's called The Void. It's kind of part of it's supposed to be part of that same like EP kind of thing, but
Okay.
it was like the darker side of it. Like the first side of it was kind of more of a lighter, major kind of thing, and then it kind of supposed to take a darker turn as the music progresses in the album.
Sure.
But, yeah,
Okay,
it's coming up. It's
Okay,
coming up.
cool. Are you gonna release that EP or the third one soon?
Yeah. People
Okay.
are on me about that, so
Okay.
he's been harping me on that.
Yeah.
So
Is it recorded?
it's like pretty close to done.
Okay.
I mean, he's got his drums and we got everything done. It's just like kind of just getting it done.
Totally. For sure, I get it. And you're a very busy person. As we'll get into that in a little bit, but
Right.
yeah. So tell me how you go about naming these tunes. I always find it interesting talking about naming tunes with no vocals on them, no lyrics. So how do you do that?
Yeah, it's like kind of like soundscapey and like just kind of words that like adjectives and things that kind of describe the feeling that you get. Like the first song, it's kind of like this like sunrise kind of a feeling. It's kind of that vibe. Even like from the first chord, it's kind of a major chord.
Right.
It just kind of gives you that feeling. And stuff like the void is like kind of a darker, more like in space, nebulous kind of
Sure.
feeling.
Yeah.
Almost like a nightmare kind of thing going on there. So yeah, just kind of like that, kind of using those descriptive words.
Okay, cool. And
Yeah.
do you give the song a title after you've written it, or do you write the song based on the title?
I'd say both.
Okay.
They kind of influence the title can definitely influence the music for sure.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have like working titles. Like actually, Harmless was actually just like a working title.
Oh, okay.
And then I was trying to like, like when you're trying to like make something work, sometimes it feels forced, and you just end up going with what you had initially, like
Yeah.
your first try or your first take or whatever. So kind of just went with that name for whatever reason.
I like it. Great. Well, I'm curious about your origins. I've known you for a little while now, and ever since I've known you, you've had a guitar strapped to you. But tell me about how you first
Right.
were introduced to the guitar.
Introduced to the guitar, like
Yeah, first time you picked it up.
I started off kind of like drumming and stuff when I was like younger.
Okay.
And then like I didn't really play guitar till I was like probably like 14 or 15, really like really get into it.
Okay.
And then like maybe like 16 or 17 I started really playing with like friends and stuff like that, and kind of doing like small little like garage bands. And then I had my first like death metal band and like maybe like I was like 18 or 19.
Cool.
And then in 2009 was when my first record came out.
Oh, sweet.
So we like pulled together all of our money and went into a studio and made like a tech death record.
Cool. Was it under the name Mike Green, or was it a different group?
It was called The Angle Obscure was the band name.
Nice.
And it was some high school friends of mine. And we just like we wrote songs together and just like saved up and paid like $3 or $4 grand for like an album.
Cool.
And like we lived like an hour away, and all drove out to the studio and thought we were gonna make it big time, like trying to go on tour and stuff like that. We were like really going at it.
Wow.
And we did pretty well. I was pretty happy with what we did.
Yeah, awesome. What drew you to the prog like death metal style initially? Would you say?
Actually, this band called Between the Buried and Me. I was like, I came from more like classic rock roots. Like my dad gave me, it's like really old, but like this thing called a Walkman. It was like a CD player, but it was like a box. Like literally, like if you touched it, it would skip. But I used to listen to like Heart. Like my first records were like Heart, like the one with Barracuda on it, Aerosmith, Traveling Wilburys, like all these like old school bands. And like ACD, like I had like ACDC like on cassette tapes, like a shoebox of cassette tapes, and I like would listen to that. And then like later on, after I started playing guitar, someone introduced me to this band called Between the Buried and Me, and it sounded like the heaviest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I was like, "What the heck is this?"
Yeah.
So it kind of like led me down that whole path of like metal and everything.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
great. And then when did you meet Colin? When did you guys start working together?
Through Illism, which is a band that we both play in. We actually play in quite a few projects together, and have like developed awesome chemistry over the years. And yeah, so and we actually did a Radio K performance here
Yeah.
as well.
Did.
So yeah, definitely check out Illism. They are super dope.
They are dope. Awesome group. You're in a variety of bands outside of Illism as well, right? So tell me about some other ones that you're in.
Lately, I'm in this another kind of going back to my roots, another metal band called Siphon with my friend Lucas from Veil Maya, and my friend Derek from a band called Laddermath, Carlos, our drummer, from a band called Our Common Collapse, and then Dustin Corinth from By the Thousands. We're kind of like this like Avengers like super group of metal musicians that came together. That's pretty recent. I'm in a video game music cover band, which is really fun.
Yeah, and you guys have a big date coming up, don't you?
Yeah, we have a really cool date in Washington D.C. coming up. It's called MagFest. It's like the biggest like VGM like music convention kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm in the band with Colin on that one too, so we are in a lot of groups together. And that's gonna be really fun. And then I also play with R&B artist Jamesia Bennett as well, with amazing musical director named Yanni and drummer Demetrius and a bunch of other amazing musicians, local cats.
Yeah.
And for hire as well. So like I do a lot of sub work and corporate stuff, and yeah, man, I stay busy.
Yeah, you do, and you play in a variety of settings too. I mean, like you pretty much named every genre just there: the R&B, death metal, everything, video game music. I mean,
Yeah.
you're making up genres too. So
Yeah. I mean, like it's good experience, and like it helps. Like everything you do kind of helps the other part.
Yeah.
It all kind of it's a big. They all help each other out, and like it's just good for your chops, good for like your experience, and just yeah.
Yeah. If you were to guess, how many gigs have you played at this point in your life?
Oh, for sure, over 1,000.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, I probably crossed that mark a long time ago.
Are you into the 5,000?
That's like getting into like Billy Sheehan, like those
Okay.
LA cat territory where like they're doing like 3 or 4 a night on
Yeah.
like Sunset Boulevard in like the 80s and early 90s.
I guess it's hard to even.
It's hard to quantify, but
yeah.
I was like keeping track in my earlier 20s. But yeah, man, it's just like sometimes you had like 2 or 3 a night, like back in the day,
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, so for the Mike Green project, we were kind of talking about this earlier, but do you plan on? This is kind of your first time playing in front of people. You said.
Yeah.
For this music, do you
Yeah.
plan on booking shows somewhere along the line for the Mike Green
I would
project?
love to.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of getting the repertoire built up, and finding opportunities that like audiences that would be willing to that want to hear stuff like this.
Yeah.
And then I've been kind of I haven't really my solo career has kind of taken a backseat in a lot of ways. Priorities and just stuff like that. So I think this year I want to like kind of like dig into it more, and I want to do like more like vocal stuff too, and like
Cool.
actually start to do like more songwriting as well. So check that out soon.
Would you be singing on it?
Oh yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
okay, awesome. I
Definitely.
haven't heard you sing yet.
Yeah,
need
I
to
mean,
hear
like
that.
I do, like I've done like a lot of backups and stuff like that over
Okay.
the years, and I've done like some leads, but I want to I would love to dive into that more for
Yeah.
sure.
And so, if you were to take this group live, like on a stage, what would the instrumentation look like in a live setting?
Honestly, the tracks and Colin is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it
Like-
is awesome.
Like we can just fly any like this whole like pedal board thing. I can fly anywhere in the world and play a show.
True.
It's like lightweight. I guess we got to backline the drum kit, but like, tracks are pretty fun. Cause like I mainly compose most of it, so maybe bass though. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like add bass.
Sure.
Our bass player, actually on these tracks, my good friend Jalen played bass on this, and he was super killer. So if he'd be open to it, Jalen,
He's listening.
if he's listening,
Cool. Yeah, awesome. Well, so on top of playing music, I know that you're also a video game developer. Is that true?
as of late, yeah.
Okay, cool. Tell me about that.
Yeah, like I've always like since I was like maybe 8 or 9, I started like making video games. like I just kind of like got put in front of a computer when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My dad was like, "Here's MS DOS, have fun." Um, and so I've always had like an interest in that, and then I kind of just hooked up with the right people recently out in California, and then got some opportunities to develop some video games for some projects. So I've been working doing that as a side job
Nice.
as well. So really fun. And like one of my like life goals actually is to like make my own game, write the music for it,
Oh,
make the
wow.
artwork for it, and do like everything for it. Basically, that's like the thing I want to do
It's awesome.
before I'm gone.
Do you have any ideas for that yet, or is it?
I've been
still-
working on stuff for
Oh,
years.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Awesome.
for sure.
I'll look out for that as well too.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a lot of underground project stuff. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so when you're not playing music and when you're not developing video games, what do you like to do in your free time?
I mean, those are definitely
Those
two
are
of the bigger things.
I would say, yeah, that takes up a lot of time.
Like when I can, like I like to be active and do stuff outside when it's actually warm out here.
Yeah.
Actually, really, I started off as like a sketch art, like drawing. I used to like love to draw. So I definitely like doing a lot of artwork. Most of it's like digital stuff now, right? Like, so I definitely do that sometimes. Man, like my life is like always doing a lot of artistic kinds of things. So. And I really enjoy kind of the entrepreneurial side of things, to like businesses and making moves, networking, connections, that kind of thing. Like I'm all about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know you are.
Yeah.
Knowing you, I know you are, definitely. Cool. All right, one last question for you. And this is
Appreciate
a
it.
fun one that I usually ask each group that comes in. I want you to build a dream bill for yourself. Mike Green gets to play on it. You get 3 other performers/bands, dead or alive, to play with you. Who are you picking?
You said that are alive?
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive? Whoa, interesting. Man, it'd be so cool to like some of the modern musicians out there. So you're saying like if I were like open and like have like
You don't have
people,
to open, but yeah.
or
yeah.
like build like a concert?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Dude, it'd be so crazy to like in the 70s, like Led Zeppelin in the 70s. Like that'd be crazy. Like if they were like headlining,
Okay.
like that'd be so cool. Or like Pink Floyd or something. I'm a really big Pink Floyd fan. That'd be awesome. Like a band like Between the Buried and Me would be super sick. Or even like actually, it's hard, man, because there's so many cool people.
True.
Like one of the guitar players, Paul Gilbert, is like one of my biggest inspirations too. So I'd love to play a show with him, and Guthrie Govan as well. Man, that's a hard question.
Well, you only
dude.
get 3, so give me 3.
Only get 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Led Zeppelin headliner from the 70s.
All right.
Okay.
70s Led Zeppelin.
Which is crazy. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
And then I would do holy crap, man. Steve Vai, the middle act, and a band from maybe like there was like 10 years ago he had like a really like killer. I mean, it's always has a killer lineup, but like 10 years ago there was a really cool lineup he had. And then I would open the show.
That's awesome.
That'd be it.
That's quite the
That'd be
show
crazy.
right there. Do you have a venue in mind for it? Or?
Red Rocks.
Okay. Yes.
Yep.
Very nice. Good picks. All right. Well, thank you, Mike, for joining the show today.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Eli.
Of course. All right. So, we're going to kick it back to the booth for some more local music until 5 p.m. Please stick around for it. This is Radio K, Real College Radio.